Welcome to the Worldtour Channel. 2019 is sure to be an amazing year for travelers, and if you're already planning your travels for the new year, then this post is for you. Some of these countries are cheaper now than ever, largely due to drops in their local currency on the global market, or due to a recent lack of tourism. Number 10. Greece. If this list was in the order of most beautiful and best value for money, Greece would no doubt be near the top. It's amazing how a place so beautiful, set right in the Mediterranean, can be so affordable. Greece has been on the euro since the start of 2002, so while there has been a 16% devaluation of the euro in recent years, Greece was always affordable, but perhaps never as much as it is today. What likely contributes to this is the unfortunate struggles that the Greek economy has seen in recent years and the influx of refugees. So perhaps Greece, more than any country on this list, can benefit from more tourism. With such great value, Greece is the perfect place for 2019. We rented a beautiful modern 550 square foot studio apartment with a view of the sea for under $20 a night on Zakynthos Island. We also had another 2-level, 1-bedroom apartment with a pool near the south coast of Santorini for under $20. Greek food is incredibly delicious, and you can usually get tasty seafood meals in restaurants for under $8. On top of the already great value, Greek restaurant owners and chefs have a habit of offering their patrons freebies like free wine, appetizers, and desserts. Whenever you're leaving a traditional Greek restaurant in Greece, you'll be fat and full, and so will your wallet. On top of good food and accommodation value, activities in Greece are typically priced well too. We did a free honeybee tour, an olive oil tour, and tasting for $35, a half-day cycle tour for $24, an amazing cooking class with unlimited booze and food for $65, and a winery visits and tastings for under $5. We also rented our boat on the island of Corfu and drove it from bay to bay for an entire day. This cost us $95 plus gas, which isn't overly cheap, but considering Sea-Doos and jet skis typically rent for about $50 an hour, we thought this was an amazing deal for both of us to enjoy a full day out on the water. All in all, Greece is definitely one of the cheap European countries to visit, and it offers some of the best value for money in all of Europe. Considering its location on the map and the level of quality you find here, it also competes as one of the best value travel destinations on Earth. Number 9. Thailand. We have to include the land of smiles on this list of cheap travel destinations for 2019. Thailand has always been one of our favorite countries in the world, and the budget backpacker that still resides deep into our souls rejoices every time we return. There are numerous places to visit in Thailand. Whether you want national parks, jungles, cities, or islands, there's a place in Thailand for you. The Thai baht, although it has seen some dips and spikes, doesn't make the country especially cheaper than it has been in the past few years, but that doesn't matter. Thailand simply offers some of the best value for money you can find anywhere on Earth. Lovely guest houses and beach huts right on the sand for as little as $15 a night, spicy and mouth-watering Thai dishes for under $2 a plate, and scuba diving for under $20 a dive makes Thailand a constant competitor as one of the cheapest countries in the world. When we first visited in 2008, we were amazed to find budget, albeit extremely basic rooms, for under $10. And when we returned this year on a higher budget, we couldn't believe the luxury 2-bedroom private pool villa we were able to afford for just $1,500 a month, or $50 a night. Your biggest expense when traveling in Thailand, depending on where you're coming from, will likely be your flight, but once there you can enjoy an incredibly low cost of living and the warmth of the local people who have made this place famous. Number 8. Turkey. Possibly the most liberal of the countries in this area, Turkey attracts visitors with one of the most exciting and beautiful capital cities on Earth, Istanbul. Plus, this country offers a blissfully alluring Mediterranean coastline, amazingly friendly people, especially in the east, and an intoxicating Islamic culture and architecture. The value for dollar in Turkey has always been great, but with the Turkish lira dropping from $1 $5.28 to the US dollar in 2010 to the current 5.27 today, the home of the former Ottoman Empire is essentially 75% better value than it was 10 years ago. 2019 is the cheapest time to visit Turkey as the lira has hit a 10-year low. Every time we visit Turkey, we are amazed by the value for money found here. You can eat delicious meals of traditional Turkish food for $5. Portions here are often so massive that you could share a meal and that cost. Tasty kebabs are just a couple of dollars on the street, and you can get lovely guest house rooms here for under $20 a night, more in the major cities. One of the costs that does add up in Turkey is the cost of visiting mosques. Many of the best ones in Istanbul, for example, cost as much as $10 to enter. If you're on a tight budget, consider only visiting a couple paid mosques and try to find some others that you can enter for free. Number 7. South Africa. One of the most adventure-packed and naturally blessed countries on earth, this list wouldn't be complete without our favorite country in Africa. South Africa offers visitors too much to see in any trip under 6 months. With a rugged and stunning coastline, incredible wildlife, extremely friendly people, tasty Indo-Afro fusion food, decent roads, and great prices, you really can't beat SA. We believe that this country on the south tip of the continent is the perfect beginner's stepping stone into the more chaotic and rustic travel of other countries in the region. South Africa is relatively easy to travel, especially if you rent your own car, which is highly recommended. What makes South Africa so affordable in 2019 is the cost of the rand. While it's not trading as well as it was at the beginning of 2016, at 14.4 rand to the US dollar, a trip to South Africa is 14% cheaper than last year when it was 12.6 rand to the US dollar. When we were there last in 2011, we received just 6.7 rand to the dollar, but everything was still great value. We paid $40 a night for a lovely double room, around $7 per meal, and just $10 to enter some amazing national parks. Take into consideration the current 53% discount based on the currency devaluation, and these all become incredibly affordable in 2019, even considering the rate of inflation since 2011. Number 6. Bulgaria. Back to the truly great value destinations of 2019, Bulgaria is probably the cheapest country we've been to in Europe, with gorgeous old towns, phenomenal wine, lovely coastline, and super friendly and relaxed people. Bulgaria is one of our favorites in the region. While the country has offered great value to travelers for decades, a recent dip in the Bulgarian lev on the global market means that Bulgaria is even better value now than it was just a few years ago. When we visited Bulgaria in 2016, we were blown away by the incredible value we got for our dollars. On one occasion, Darius, myself, and a friend sat in a restaurant bar for over 5 hours. We ate a massive platter of meat, veggies, and bread and drank copious amounts of wine. When the bill finally came, we thought there was a mistake or we were misreading it in our double vision. That night, we paid under $30 for that bill, and we still don't know how. The great deals continued as we traveled around Bulgaria with lovely hostel rooms and 200-year-old buildings costing just $20 a night, and bottles of wine at restaurants rarely breaking the $8 mark. If you want to visit Europe, experience history, meet really cool people, and taste some of the world's best wine while never breaking the bank, Bulgaria should be on your travel wish list in 2019. This is definitely one of the cheapest European countries. Number 5. Cuba. If you're looking for a cheap destination to visit in the Caribbean, then Cuba tops the list. You can travel here on an all-inclusive, but if you choose to travel to Cuba independently, you'll have a far richer experience and it'll cost you less. For cheap countries, Cuba is one of your best bets. Stunning beaches, a unique Caribbean and Spanish vibe, tasty cooking, contrary to belief, friendly people, and incredible landscapes, Cuba is a diverse country that needs to be on your list. For Americans, it's possible to visit to Cuba if you travel under one of the allowed categories. People to people is what most people choose to travel under, but it's still a confusing process for our American friends. You'll need to build an itinerary containing activities that meet the criteria for people to people category. or get help from local experts to plan a legal trip. 5% discount for Goats on the Road readers. We spent a month backpacking Cuba, and it was a highlight of all of our travel experiences. Meeting the Cuban people, dancing in the streets, lazing on virtually empty beaches, partying in Havana, and hiking to tobacco farms were our most memorable moments. Cuba's currency is the CUC or the CUP. In general, you'll use CUC, which is pegged to the US dollar, for your accommodation, food at tourist restaurants, cocktails and beers, activities and excursions, car and scooter rentals, and the Viazol bus. CUP is used for smaller items such as fruit and vegetables from local vendors, the local bus, some peso food shops, and to give you an idea of how the currency works, 1 USD is equal to 1 CUC, and 1 USD is equal to 25 CUP. Staying in Casa Particulares with the local families is what Cuba is all about. This is the best way to meet people and enjoy an authentic experience. However, Airbnb is cropping up in the country, and there are some great places online. Casas will cost $20 to $30 a night for 2 people, discounts for 1 person, and oftentimes it includes breakfast, while hotels cost $25 a night up to $180 plus. The cost of food in the restaurants in Cuba really depends on which city you're in and which restaurants you are at, but in general, expect to spend between $5 to $10 for a filling meal. We recommend at least one night at your casa as they cook some amazing traditional food. Cocktails are about $2 to $3 at a bar. Now, if you're here to eat peso food, you would spend about $1 for a small meal. Activities can be fairly cheap in Cuba as well, with chilling out on beaches and wandering around the stunning and bustling streets costing you nothing. Museum visits, caving, horseback riding, and other tours will cost between $5 to $30. The cost of Cuba is incredibly affordable, making it one of the cheapest countries to visit. Number 4. Colombia. After backpacking Colombia in late 2016, it quickly set itself amongst our favorite countries we've ever been to. Friendly people, incredibly pristine and lush jungles, stunning Spanish colonial cities, and breathtaking beaches, Colombia is a traveler's dream. The Colombian peso saw a massive drop in recent years, which unfortunately isn't good for local economies, and Colombians are looking to travel, but it does give budget travelers an added incentive to visit this incredible country. We met a couple in Medellin who decided to move to Colombia to retire in 2014. Since their arrival, the peso went from $1,800 to the US dollar all the way to $33.50, an incredible 88% drop, essentially giving their retirement a massive boost. Luckily, the peso has started to stabilize slightly, and at the time of writing, it's sitting at around 3,300 pesos to the US dollar. This means that everything in Colombia is a great value for travelers, whether you're visiting with a dollar, pound, euro, yen, yuan. Colombia is a better deal now than it's ever been. We were eating delicious seafood meals on the beach for just a few dollars. Beautiful Spanish-style guest houses only cost around $30 per night, and you can enjoy scuba diving in the Caribbean here for as little as $24 per dive when buying a 10-dive package. There are endless amazing things to do in Colombia, which can seem a bit overwhelming at times. Why not have a local plan a cool trip for you? We stayed in some of the best hostels we've ever seen in Colombia, with rooftop pools, funky bars, and luxurious rooms. One even had a jacuzzi in it. The cost of tours and experience is also excellent in Colombia. We highly recommend doing the 4-day Ciudad Perdida trek and a coffee tour in Salento. The latter is only $2. Number 3, India. Oh yes, whether you love it or hate it, and even if you do love it, you probably also hate it, India is one of the most exhilarating travel destinations on Earth. Chaotic and tranquil, pristine and filthy, friendly and furious, free and frustrating. India is the epitome of all oxymoronic experiences that make travel so amazing. While India is likely the most exciting and bewildering place to travel, it's also probably the cheapest. Thanks to the Indian rupee currently trading at 70 rupees to the dollar, which is 6 rupees more per dollar than you would have received in 2018, India is likely the best place to travel if you want to stretch your dollars, euros, or pounds. Last time we were in India, I purchased the cheapest yet filling meal I've ever had while traveling. 20 cents bought me a pile of puris, fluffy fried bread, and 2 different types of curries served to me from a street cart. The meal was delicious and completely filled me up. Amazing. While the cost of that meal was exceptionally low, we often ate all-you-can-eat thali meals for as little as $1.50 and drank fresh lime juice squeezed on the street for 15 cents a glass. We had free accommodation in ashrams. It doesn't get much cheaper than that. And when paying for our hotels, we had decent but basic double rooms for around $3 per night. Depending on what class of train and bus you take, getting around India can be unbelievably affordable, with a train from Mumbai to Kolkata covering 1,968 kilometers and taking over 30 hours. Costs just $11. Number 2. Mexico. A diverse and delicious, albeit not very healthy cuisine, friendly local people, world-class beaches, all the amenities you could hope for, and an intoxicating vibe make Mexico a place that we want to return to time and time again. It's one of our favorite countries to travel to and one of the few destinations where we could see ourselves living long term. There are so many incredible places to visit in Mexico and things to do that you could spend years here and not see it all. Mexico is extremely affordable these days thanks to the struggling peso added to an already affordable cost of living. At this time of writing, the US dollar is at 19.6 pesos, which is incredible. When we traveled here back in 2014, the dollar was at 12.8 pesos, and even then we thought it was good value for money. Today, the country is theoretically 49% cheaper because the currency conversion to the US dollar and many other currencies, including Canadian dollar. If you want to really save money while visiting Mexico, avoid coming here during peak season, November to March, when accommodation prices can skyrocket, especially in December, and many of the best places are booked out. No matter when you come, Mexico will shock you with its great value. Tacos for 30 cents each, a kilo of fresh prawns from the fish market for $3, Coronas with a slice of lime for $1.50, and strong margaritas served to you while your feet are buried in sand for just $1 each. You'll find affordable eternal flights from Viva Aerobus and Aeromexico and cheap long-distance bus rides. On top of the great prices for food and booze bought in restaurants and bars, Mexico has many shops in that North America love, like Sam's Club, Costco in the major cities, and one that not everyone loves, Walmart. On top of these institutions, Mexico also has their own brand of grocery stores like La Comer and Soriana. Purchasing your own groceries and cooking for yourself is a great way to save money and make a healthy meal, as the food in the grocery stores here is very affordable. Before we go to number 1, what do you think it'll be? I'll just give you a moment to think about that. But number 1 is actually Indonesia. White sand beaches, world-class surfing, the best scuba diving in the world, and some of the most picturesque jungle and rice paddy scenery, Indonesia is without a doubt one of our favorite countries on Earth. Currently, Indonesia is one of the most affordable places that we know about. $1 US will get you around 14,500 rupiah, which is 1,000 more rupiah than in 2018. 6 years ago, you'd only get 9,050 rupiah to the dollar. As I said in the opening paragraphs of this post, Indonesia offers incredible value for accommodation, food, and transport. Here, you can get beautiful guest homes, often set in pool villas, for as little as $20 a night. You can eat delicious seafood meals and millennial classics like smashed avo on toast for around $3, and you can rent a motorbike here for just a couple of dollars per day. Cars are around $15 a day. The only thing that's not of great value is alcohol. Indonesian is a pretty heavy tax on imported booze, so a low-cost quality bottle of imported wine will cost around $20, while drinkable local wine is still $13 to $15. Bentang beer is nothing to write home about, but it's affordable at around $1.50 to $3 at a beach bar or restaurant, and imported beer is around twice the price. Out of all the countries we've traveled to and kept track of our budgets, Indonesia is definitely among the top 3 best value for money. And with a stronger dollar, weaker rupiah, this has never been truer than it is today. Don't miss the islands of Raja Ampat, Bali, Sumatra, Sumbawa, Lombok, Gili Islands, Flores, Komodo National Park, Alor, and more. Thanks for sticking around until the end. As a bonus, we'll be talking about Argentina. Whether you're into culture and history, nature and landscapes, lakes and fishing, or cities and wine, Argentina has something for you. And right now, it's one of the cheapest countries to visit. Since Argentina is such a vast country with a wide variety of landscapes and regions, it can be visited year-round. Argentina is known for being one of the top fly fishing destinations in the world. If you're an angler, fly fishing season in the Lake District of Patagonia is best in January and February due to the warm weather and ability to fish all waters during this time. For trekkers, the winter months are a good time to hit the mountains of Patagonia. El Chalten in the south is dry and has temperatures around 20 degrees Celsius or 68 degrees Fahrenheit, perfect for checking out the peaks of Fitzroy and Cerro Torre, exploring waterfalls, drinking beer on patios, and much more. Don't miss nearby El Calafate and its popular Perito Moreno Glacier, which calves massive chunks of ice every few minutes. If all these places to visit in Argentina aren't enough to spark your interest, maybe the cost will. When we traveled to Argentina in 2017, we received around 18 Argentine pesos for $1. According to XE at the time of this rating, the rate is $1 for 37.85 Argentine pesos. This drop in currency means that traveling in Argentina will cost you less than half of what it cost us in 2017. Rooms that were priced at $150 a night now cost $71. Fantastic dinners of rib-eye steaks and Malbec wine, which cost us $50 for 2 people, now go for just $23. Argentina isn't known for being one of the cheapest countries to visit, but with the current instability of the peso, you can definitely save some money by visiting now and maybe help the local economy along the way. We highly recommend this South American country. Where will you go? As the world becomes more connected by budget flights and advanced communication and commerce, many places are becoming more and more expensive to visit with each year that passes. Aside from the cost of flights, which have been reduced thanks to budget airlines, travel is typically more expensive now than it has been in the past. Thankfully, there has been some incredible countries that always offer travelers great value for money. The most exciting countries in the world are often those that are still developing. For visitors, this means low prices but also a better understanding of the world economies and wealth disparities. We always recommend visiting countries independently so that you're giving the most amount of money back to the local communities as possible, rather than just staying in an American or European chain resorts. Consider locally owned guest houses, hostels, and homes. Instead of joining a foreign-owned tour, consider heading there on your own and hiring guides yourself once you're in the country. Not only will this likely be cheaper for you, it will also enrich your experience in the places you visit. We've listed 10 of our favorite budget travel destinations in this article, but the list is no means exhaustive. Thanks for watching our channel. If you think this is helpful, please share, subscribe, and push notification because, well, it's free. And see you in the next video.